All right, so today I'm going to show you how to rebuild the ball cushion shock. First, I'm going to make my little, I call this a diaper. This will help with the not getting oil all over the place. So I'll put one towel down, then I'll put another one down, then I'll put my shock in there, tighten that till it won't move. Then I'll grab one more towel. Again, you don't have to do all this, but I do just to prevent a mess. Then I get that and kind of tire loop that around the other side. This will soak up all the oil that will come out of here and not get it all over the ground and all over the place. So I'm going to get my 7mm socket. I'm going to get my 7mm socket and then take these bolts off. So now I'm going to grab a flathead screwdriver. I'm going to want to try to get into this little slot here to then pry up so that I can then get in there to press this housing off. Now that I've got that up and out, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this up and then pull this up, pull the housing up till it comes out. Set this down to the side on a towel. And now I can loosen my vice grips to then take this out to then dump the oil out. Place that back into there, and then I'll get to that here in a second. All right, so now I've got my ball cushion housing out. I'm going to go ahead and rotate all these nuts off. All hardware, I should say. All right, so now that I've got my hardware off on top, I'm going to go ahead and take off this top case housing for the O-rings. All right, so now I've got that separated. I'm going to go ahead and grab my flathead screwdriver again. And I'm going to peel out the sealing ring. Oh no! Now I'm going to rotate this inside O-ring off as well. And now I'm just going to clean up my housing right here real quick. Okay, once I've got that out, wipe off the shaft, clean the threads up a little bit, check out the threads, make sure they're not burred or too bad. Look fine. Clean my bottom housing off too as well. Now that I've got my new, my old O-ring and sealing ring out, I'm going to put my new one in. So for the sealing ring, I'm just going to go ahead and press this in, and I'm going to make sure it's flush all the way down. And there's no gap at the bottom or on top. I'm going to rotate my new O-ring down on the bottom too. Now I can start putting now I can put my housing back on the shaft. I've got my housing back on the shaft. I can go ahead and put my bolts back on. You can grab new hardware if you want. I'm going to go ahead and grab new hardware for this one since we have a whole bunch of extras right now. So now I've got everything cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and put my hydraulic oil in here. So I'm going to fill up to about 2 millimeters from the top. That way, whenever I go to insert it, I don't have any air inside the shock as I put it through. So I'm going to rotate it in there and then press down. So this is where all these towels that I call the diaper come into play. That way this soaks it all up and I'm not having a huge mess. We've got plenty of towels here. So as I go through and down, make sure I align my slit up and then just press it down. For this part, I'll sometimes grab either something or I have a tiny hammer that I use just to help press it and make sure you do opposite sides so you get it to sit evenly. Once you got that down, it's flush. Then you can start to put your hardware. Back in. Now I'm going to grab some isopropyl alcohol and I'm going to spray on this and then compress my shock to see if there's any leaks. So I'm going to get it dry first, all the way around. That way, whenever I go to squeeze, anything that comes out, I'll be able to see if it's sealing properly, if I did it right. Maybe there's something else, bird, that I didn't catch. You're trying to get all the old oil stains off. That way, whenever it goes to try to leak, if it is going to, you are able to catch that. So now I'm just going to compress it down and go back up, see if I got any air pockets or any leaks. So far, so good. Once I like how it's working, I think I should be good to go.